Hello, welcome to episode 2 of Tight 10 on Titan, the most ironically named.
The loosely.
You know,
sometimes you watch the show and you think it must be scripted.
Yeah, and then other times you get this. Anyone that doesn't know much about comedy, like i.e. us. Anyone that doesn't know much about comedy might not know. Like if you go to a gig and you're like asked to do like something like do 70-10 or whatever floats your boat, or do a tight 5 or do a tight 10, you're supposed to pretty much adhere to that time. And when we discussed this, we were going to do like kind of half-hour episodes, and we thought, tight 10 because keep it tight, and also it's a kind of comedy phrase. And Titan is the planet that this is set on. And we wandered a little last week, so let's see if we can.
I think we ran over by about 60 minutes.
That's fine.
Yeah, I wasn't doing anything.
It's good. They're never going to let you back at the stand if you do that. But this is we're allowed to do it. This is our baby. We can do whatever we want. It's fine,
So that would be like no, but what would that be like? What? Because if you did it, if they told you to do a tight 10 and you ran over as much as we did, what would that be? What?
That would be comedy suicide.
I think that would be 20 minutes. You'd have to do 20 minutes.
Just 100%.
Maybe 30 minutes. I'm not very good at maths.
It would be 30 minutes actually if you're supposed to do half an hour and you do 3 times that technically, which is what we did. But it's just the absolute kind of blatant arrogance behind it as well. We just kind of go, well, do you know what? It was what it was. We were making comedy gold.
I think I've seen. Well, I haven't seen someone. I've definitely heard about someone getting a 10 and then running on to 30 or at least 20. Like how long after you get flashed by the light does it do your balls grow for every minute?
Absolutely.
It's like they're like literally like 15 minutes in and they're like continually turning it on and off and you just like staring into the light, delivering your material.
Just kind of going, I have the microphone and you will listen.
You're gonna have to physically remove me from the premises.
I'm not going to name the comedian, right? But I was up in a gig in Dundee, and it was Charlie Wallace's gig.
Oh, the Dundee comedy or comedy.
So it was number 57, and Charlie does this awfully charming thing where he's got his phone and he'll kind of have this kind of yellow flashing light. You're getting close to it.
Yeah, I remember it.
And then when you're over your time, he'll change it to red. So at this time, he was doing his wee kind of yellow. Obviously, he never needs to use it for me because even though it sounds really improvised, mine's just like just every stammer and stutter and pause has been carefully written. Even this.
You're like a fucking watchmaker.
Every single possibility, I'm just kind of going, and I'm hoping that 7:36 Chris will say this, and if he does, I'll just fucking right. So he's waving his yellow light. He's waving his yellow. We'll get to the fantasy bit soon, viewers. If he's waving his yellow light, and this guy who will remain unnamed, we'll tell you after the show. And
I could probably guess.
I've a few more rums, and I'll tell you in about 10 minutes. Right? I'm not going to mention Graham Mackey's name, but right, so he does the yellow and then he changes it to red, and then the comedian in question just keeps going for another 8 minutes, and then you can see Charlie visibly kind of going.
That's exactly the piece he does.
and then the comedian comes off stage who was MCing, so I think you get away with a bit more when you're MCing as well, right? Yeah. So then the next comedian goes up, you can see, and he goes, "Oh, is that all right?" And then Charlie just goes, "Yeah, no, that was really good." I was thinking, no, and it absolutely was because it was gold. He was up there and he was doing really well, but he did run over by a good,
by a good nearly.
Pretty much what we did last week. but the thing was, I pulled Charlie aside. I forgot to tell you, he's colourblind. Which is just a lie, but I just thought it was funny if Charlie's just like that with the phone and he just sees like fucking lilac or something. That's fine, it's lilac.
He keeps seeing it. He's like, there's a lot of 1 minute warnings.
Anyway, the Citadel of Chaos.
The Citadel of Chaos.
Citadel of Chaos. I'm going to do a previously on the Citadel of Chaos.
I need
previously in Titan and Titan. And it has to be in America. Previously on.
It's not bad.
Yeah. It's just from
Superman cartoon voiceover.
I might just start doing that voice for all of us. You find yourself in a room. It sounds like have you ever heard the song Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah. Actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, just get out.
Yeah.
You're running through a forest when you.
It sounds like an old-fashioned American radio drama.
Wait, you know what? We should actually turn the cameras off and just have.
How long have you been sitting on this voice? I've never heard this voice before. It's great.
Yeah, we should just turn the cameras off and then I just like get coconuts and stuff. Saying you're going through the forest and you hear horses approaching.
Be your own Foley artist. That'd be brilliant. I've got Watsits. I can like make crinkling.
What is that? It's great you hear when you hear radio dramas. And it's like maybe a ghost story. So like we will get into the fantasy stuff right after for like 7 minutes, and we're just like, wow. Right? So you hear a ghost story in the radio or something, and radio dialogue is just so much different than real life dialogue because they have to obviously paint a picture, and you're in a situation going. So they can be in this room and they just say, look at that chair, Chris. They go, what is it? Look, it's lifting up into there all by itself. Imagine that real life. If you actually saw a chair levitate in the middle of a room, you went, Chris, look at that chair. It's rising up.
You'd be more like, what the fuck?
You'd be like, fuck. So like if I wrote a radio drama, it would just be a collection of like kind of going, let's go in here. Fucking hell!
Just the sound effects. It's so horrible. I can't describe it.
That's why I always hate shit like Cloverfield. You watch Cloverfield?
Oh, yeah, the found footage stuff.
Yeah, so you get stuff like the Blair Witch Project kind of works. You get people kind of running and just going, my God. It just stood on Frank, and they're just filming his best. He grew up with this guy, and he's watched this kind of giant alien lizard creature stamping his friend, and he's going, "We gotta capture this." Really?
we got to capture his skeleton.
Like you can make out his squashed eyeball all over there.
He just had one big eyeball in his body, spread out over 9 meters.
The thing I'll always remember is Overlord. Hey, anyway,
I think 25% of this show is just us pissing ourselves.
I know. I think I know why we ran over last time. Haven't even started yet. Right, anyway, previous land Citadel of Chaos. Right, so anyway, we basically walk up to the aforementioned, the eponymous Citadel of Chaos. And there's a monkey with a dog's head and a dog with a monkey's head and a garden in place. And you had your choices. Do you remember what your choices were, Chris?
Herbalist, tradesman, or that's not a word.
What did you write?
I wrote shatter.
Yeah, you were going to pose as a herbalist, claim to be a tradesman. So that's your choices, because obviously the writer, when he was writing this, just thought, I can't say pose twice. He said you pose
that would look silly.
Claim to be a tradesman. Claim to be a tradesman, and I will say that whenever I've had any dealings with tradesmen, I've always think he's just claiming to be a tradesman. I mean that is quite factually accurate. Have you ever fitted a bathroom before? Aye.
I've had a go.
Exactly. I'm also a herbalist. You
Well,
post
who
a
isn't?
herbalist, claim as a tradesman, or ask for shelter for the night. That was your three choices.
All right.
Now we've got some viewers, so we can talk through this. If any of the comments appear potentially with ideas of which of those choices you should make, then I'll be sure to file them to you. If you've got something definitive in mind as well, just go for it. But I thought we would give.
If there's any
watching
suggestions, I mean, I kind of know what I want to do, but I'm open to suggestions. So I will. If there is any, I will take them. If there isn't, then I'll just pick.
Well, so far we do have yours, but no commentary. It's like kind of going long time listener, first time.
We got lurkers. That's all right. Yeah, I'm happy to pick them.
Right, okay. Well, I think we should just go for it. Now my plan last week was to go over all three of these scenarios so that I could seamlessly take us to the next part of this. Just so that if you say, "Oh, this such and such," and I'll go, well, and get right in there. However, I didn't do that. So I'm going to, I'm sounding confident right now, but whatever I go to, I'll go, you suddenly discover that.
I prefer that
because that's what you're going to get, Chris.
Good. But like, if I went, imagine we had a choice where it's like, do you want to pull the lever or do you want to try and jump the gap? And I go jump the gap, and you go, ooh. Are you sure?
I've decided. I'm getting blind too, because I mean, the last time I played this game, and I loved this particular one. It came out in 1983, right?
The last time you played that game, you didn't have pubes.
Yeah, exactly. Just back when I didn't. But the very definition of not having pubes, I probably made better choices in my life. Because the appearance of pubes just destroyed everything for me, right? So
yeah, it really was the first horseman, wasn't it?
Exactly. That's it. Just towards taking me through pestilence, but we won't talk too much about that. Famine, war, and inevitably death. So,
well, hold on a second. I know we're prone to getting sidetracked, but if pubes are war, the first of the horsemen, what is the second horseman, the third, and the fourth?
Probably, I think the next one's pestilence.
Yeah, but what is that? Like your hair starts to grey? What does that mean? Like what? Like if your pubes coming in is war.
Pestilence is like disease. So I mean,
well, I know, but like if your pubes coming signals the first horseman, what in your body signals the second?
All right. Yeah. Well, with pestilence, it'd probably be like an STD, wouldn't it?
Just as you get to a certain age, that's two of the horsemen. Two more and I'm dead.
Famine is either you can't afford to eat because your job's rubbish, or you've got so old that you're putting on weight and you're trying to diet. and then it takes you to death.
Death has got to be whenever you go, nurse, it's happening again. That's it. That's the last horseman.
Which is already happening to me.
That's it.
Already happening to me. So, nobody's got any preference on this. So, Chris, it's up to you.
I would like to pose as a herbalist.
Ooh.
I am I think I can convince them that I know about plants and potions and poultices and maybe that wasn't. Hold on, let me have a look at my actual skill. Yeah, I'll go with that.
You're posing as a herbalist. You pose as a herbalist, the ape dog, as opposed to the dog ape. To be honest, I'm not sure which one the ape dog is.
Which one's cat dog? That was a good show.
Cat dog is like cow and chicken is another cat dog. Cat dog was like the arse of a dog and the body of a cat, or vice versa.
It was the front half of both.
Yeah,
they have to cooperate.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if there was like some abomination that was the back half of both.
That's their brother.
He's got a face like an arse.
What would he be called?
Arse.
He'd God
What?
tag. Dog and cat backwards. God tag.
God
God
tag.
tag. Or tack God.
God. So anyway,
Tactical.
Ape Dog. I'm going to go with the opinion that Ape Dog is the head of the ape and the body of the dog. But I mean, I really don't know. That's me working under that kind of. That's me working under that kind of philosophical ideal that
If I
any
had to,
choices and decisions you make and everything's kind of guided by your brain.
if I had to be pals with one, I'd want the body of a dog and the head of an ape.
Yeah.
I prefer dogs to apes, even though I am technically an ape.
So you think Ape Dog is the head of an ape and the body of a dog as well, and that would be your pal?
Yeah, he'd be my pal. I don't know if he's my pal in this context.
Well, hopefully he'll be your pal. We'll find out shortly.
I'll find him on Facebook.
Ape Dog wants to be your friend.
I'll accept that. And then Dog Ape wants to be your friend. It's like, oh, I'm going to block him.
Exactly. Dog Ape wants to be your friend. You say okay, and then within 5 minutes, he's trying to get you into Forex trading. Just, fuck ass block.
Trying to sell me giant ape condoms.
Just gonna go. You're
going
to
put my head in this.
Exactly. You're going to need these, Chris. I'm coming round tonight. The Ape Dog, for that is his name, asks to see your herbs.
I produce my herbs.
Luckily, you grabbed a few handful of weeds on your way and you show them. So there you go. How lucky was that? I mean, what were the chances?
That I just happened to have weed on me.
Exactly.
They're pretty good.
Pretty high. Luckily, you grabbed a few handfuls of weeds on your way and you show them, cocking its head to one side. The creature eyes you suspiciously. He's clearly a bit paranoid as well.
Yeah, he can smell me. He's like,
I know. He's just going to go, anyone else want a big bag of what's this? It asks you for the name of the guard you have. It asks you for the name of the guard that you've come to treat. Something you hadn't planned on. So you planned to grab weeds on the way up north, chance you're going to be asked if you're a herbalist. But you hadn't come up with a name for the guard that you were going to treat. Something you hadn't planned on. You quickly think of a name to bluff the creature with.
Romulus Fandango.
You've got a choice of 3 names.
You've got a choice
of 3 names.
I
But you're going to just choose one. Do you think this is an infinite book? Oh, he just said Balthazar. I'm taking
the Fandango peers right now. Romulus through Jeffrey.
One of the first names you come up with are either Kiltrog, Pincus, or Blag.
Wait, what was it? Kinkus the Black?
Kiltrog.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to put them into the comments.
Yeah, just throw them in the chat.
Throw them in the chat. Kiltrog. Pincus.
Hold on. I need to actually open it.
or the one that is pretty much what you'll be doing in this conversation will be Blag. So that's your choices.
Right, hold on. I just need to. So, what was the second one again? Give me that.
Pincus. Can you not see it in the chat? No.
No, I'm not,
Can you not see the chat?
I'm not on the Twitch stream.
Oh, of course, right? Yeah. So I should have put them into the private chat.
Yes.
I'll put them into the private chat.
I'm getting warm.
But I suppose it's good that we put it into the main chat as well, because it means people can.
Oh yeah, okay. Kiltrog, Pincus,
Pincus, or Blag.
Kiltrog sounds like a final boss. Pincus sounds like an infection. And Blag, yeah, is exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm gonna go with Blag. Fuck it. I'm gonna be
Blag
over.
Like
so over. It's covert.
The creatures look at each other as if the name sounds familiar, but they can't quite place it. You quickly add that he's on the first floor watch. They shrug and eventually decide you may be telling the truth. The Ape Dog summons the gatekeeper, who eventually appears to let you in.
We're going to have to get in charge. That Ape Dog's a fucking idiot.
Do you know, this is a ton easier to get into some Glasgow nightclubs. Welcome
I'm here
to
to
the
see Brian.
Citadel. There might be English medium version of this where you just walk up and without even asking what you're doing here goes, "No, the night, mate."
yeah.
No, with those trainers on.
Glaswegians would make great cards for the Citadel of Chaos. We'd be fucked.
The Citadel of our chaos. You walk forward into a spacious open courtyard surrounded by large walls. For it is a citadel that you've entered. I don't know why it needs to tell you that.
Yeah, I'm just going to assume there's large walls every room we go into.
I have to say, a citadel by its very nature is a walled city. I imagine large high walls would be a feature.
If not a constant view.
Various lights are burning and groups of figures are shuffling around in the darkness. So the lights that are there clearly aren't that good. In the centre of the courtyard is a large monument of some kind, perhaps a fountain. Ooh. Looking across the yard, you see what appears to be the main entrance to the tower. So will you creep towards the wall, towards the tower, stride boldly across the courtyard, or tiptoe through the shadows towards one of the groups?
Oh, Harry Slaughter raises his herbalist's claymore onto his back and walks boldly through the courtyard.
You didn't even need to think about that. You didn't even need to think about that. You have died. No, I'm only kidding. How awesome would that be? You stupid bastard, just supposed to be here convertly. You die. No. As you step out the courtyard as you step out the shadows towards the centre of the courtyard, a voice in the wind cries, "Halt! Stand your ground!" Which would be amazing.
Take orders from the wind.
Do you know? I feel that I assumed that this would be quite a kind of stern voice, but it could have been a voice in the wind cries, "Halt! Stand your ground!" Which maybe doesn't have the same kind of. I don't know, but anyway, so halt, stand your ground. You whirl about, but you can see that no one is addressing you. You take another couple of steps. Again, the eerie voice orders you to stop. And this time, an arrow zings through the air and lands close to your left foot. You jump back. Still, you can see no one, but now you're stuck. Will you press on forwards very cautiously, make a dash for the monument in the centre of the yard, or cast a shielding spell around yourself in advance? You've got a shielding spell, so you can do that. But I just feel that
first act.
I was going to say quite early on, that's my shielding spell gone.
Yeah, so the only one. That is for walking on lava and nothing else.
Absolutely. I think you're. I mean, I can't say for certain, but I think maybe the shielding spell at this stage of the game is a wee bit kind of early doors. Although you've got like a bajillion spells, but let's just. It's your call. I mean, if you want to use shielding, you can.
I'm not shooting my shielding wad right now. I'm getting straight to that monument. I'm running.
Shielding load. So your choices are to press on forward.
We got to get the cover. There's no way I'm walking cautiously forward. He's already nailed my foot to the ground.
So don't press on forward. So really, you've only got one choice, and that's to make a dash for the monument in the centre of the yard.
That's what I'm doing. Get us to that monument. The new.
Get to the monument. You break into a run. 3 arrows fly out towards you from nowhere. Now you have to. Chris. Now you have to test your luck using the dice. You got your dice?
I've got my dice.
Right. So what we need to do, I'm going to explain to you how one tests their luck.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll be told to test your luck.
As you have right now. Wow, what a coincidence.
Using luck is a risky business. The way to test your luck is as follows. Roll 2 dice.
Okay.
Have you got 2 dice there? Are you going to do some rolling? So you roll it twice then?
Yeah, I'll just roll it twice.
All right, I can do it. Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is equal to or less than your current luck score, then you've been lucky. If the number rolled is higher than your current luck score, then you've been unlucky. The consequences of being lucky or unlucky will then be discovered. So your current luck is 9. So you need
we
to
want to roll
two
low
dice.
here.
You need to roll 2 dice, right? And
How about this? How about you roll 1 and I'll roll 1?
That's a good call. So if it's equal to or less than 9, then you'll be lucky.
That's odds are in my favour then.
Absolutely. Right, Chris. You roll first.
Ooh, 3. Not bad at all.
3. Right. So I mean that's pretty much it, because this only goes up to 6.
Aye. So if you get a 6, I feel.
No, if you get 6, you're fine, because it's equal to or less. So there's no way you're rolling 3. You're rolling 3 means you won. However, I'm still going to roll this.
Okay.
Because you got your chance to roll the dice, and I feel slightly
jealous. I'm jealous of my dice rolling.
I know that all Jeopardy, for anyone watching, all Jeopardy now has been completely lost, and we should just move on. But I've got to roll this dice, and I'm fucking rolling it.
Roll it then.
So all right, you pretty much won. You pretty much won. And I mean, we could have moved on about 2 minutes ago, but I'm fucking rolling.
Let's go.
And it's a 4, so that brings up to 7. So you're lucky, as you would have been if I'd even rolled a 6. Imagine if I said, "Oh, bad luck, Chris, you rolled a 7."
I'll roll an 8.
All of the arrows miss, and you arrive at the monument, ducking behind the stone. And that's just as well, because if they had hit you, you'd have been in a bit of trouble. You'd have lost 5 stamina points.
Oh, only 5? I would have thought multiple arrows would have killed me.
You were. It would have hurt. It'd have hurt.
I would have felt
anyway, it's a moot point. But I mean, that would have been quite a significant loss to your stamina so early in the game. So I'm glad that you got
to preserve the supplies as long as we can.
Lucky. So you're a lucky man. You cast your eyes over the strange structure. It appears not to be a fountain, but a temple of some sort.
But what? How did I mistake a temple for a fountain?
Well, Chris, I'm not going to blame it on the weed. Yeah, herbalist.
What canon now? Harry Potter is stoned.
You stand there munching your family pack of Wotsits, wondering how you could have possibly mistaken a fountain for a temple for a fountain. So it's not a fountain, but a temple of some sort. To one side, there's a door which you may investigate, or you could press on towards the citadel itself. Do you want to press onwards, or do you want to investigate the door?
Imagine how shit this would be if I chose not to investigate stuff. I'm investigating it. You
investigate, absolutely.
I'm right. I'm investigating it. I'm not just going to go up, discover that a temple looked like a fountain, and then not inquire further.
like any true herbalist, you're going, well, I need to find out more about this.
The toothbrush. It's a daft wee toothbrush. Stretching your breasts on.
There's another Fighting Fantasy game called Temple of Terror.
Oh, right? Yeah. That's not like Citadel of Chaos. That's
exactly. It flows better than. But imagine if you went to investigate, it says, right, put this book away, and you have to go and buy Temple of Terror. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Oh my God! Every book links to the next book.
Exactly. It's just a money making scheme. There is actually there's actually and again, I'm taking this out of the commentary again, right? And there is actually there's apparently a series of 9 game books written by a guy, and they're geographical. So you get the kind of core book, and you go, and it's almost like the closest you could come to a kind of sandbox style game.
Aye.
You're wandering about completing quests in that area, and then there is a point, if you go like too far north, it goes, now you need to buy book 2. And then you can go into book 2 and then wander back down into book 1 and go into book 8, and then apparently you can just do this kind of open world. And I think that'd be quite awesome. But we're doing the Citadel of Chaos because I want to kind of test this shit out first.
We'll build it.
What's that?
We'll build it.
We'll do it. We'll do it. I mean, what else we're going to be doing?
I put the heater on, but then I started drinking rum, and now I'm too warm.
Absolutely. I do like your T-shirt, by the way. You're wailing.
Oh, the Wayland's Tanning Court.
Yep.
You're the first person to actually get the reference.
I've got my Banksy Mario.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, enough of this masturbating each other.
Circle jerking.
So you want to investigate the Fountain of Temple?
100%.
Exciting times. And by the way, whenever there's an associated picture, I'll show you. And there is for this one, right? The door opens and the small room inside is lit by candlelight because they haven't quite invented electricity yet in this fantasy world.
Not got around to it.
Cautiously, first time you've done that, cautiously you look inside to see a strange sight. On the stone altar in the middle of the chamber are 3 silver chalices, each containing a different coloured liquid. One's clear, one's red, and one's milky.
Do you know, when you said that, for some reason...
My gran used to say, never drink from the milky chalice.
Do you know what was really funny to me? When you said you opened it and you saw a strange sight, for some reason, I was sure that the next line was going to be, an old man sits naked. Just a wee old man. It's like, and then I just close the door and get on with the adventure. Like I don't investigate.
He's just sitting there eating a banana.
He's watching the darts, naked, eating a banana.
He's been there for 15 minutes and Charlie Wallace is behind him flashing.
Telling him to hurry up and finish that banana.
I'm giving you 10 minutes to eat that banana.
He runs over
silver chalices again. One's
clear.
Clear and one's milky. Fluttering around the altar are 3 small winged gremlin type creatures. There you go there.
Yeah, they're like imps.
All chirping excitedly. Every so often one lands on the altar and takes a sip of the milky liquid. The open door creaks on its hinges and it startles them. They whirl round to see you and you become very excited. You may either enter the chamber or close the door quickly and press on towards the citadel.
I'm going to go in.
It's very slow. And you're going to go in, you madman.
I'm excited. You said I was excited, so I'm like, aye, let's go investigate the imps.
Let's do it. Adrian has just commented saying we should roll a dice to test our lust.
I'll do it right now.
Let's do it.
I rolled a 4. So
four
that means
4 out of 6 is quite lusty. I mean, you could probably add to the milky goblet.
4 out of 6 means that I'm turgid, but I'm still listening to what you're saying.
Well, 4 out of 6 is pretty much what I pretty much hit on the lust scale quite consistently.
Nursing a semi, but not actively masturbating.
Which is fine in most everyday life when you're dropping the kids off at school. It's a bit troublesome. So you either enter the chamber with your semi, or you close the door quickly and run off. You want to enter the chamber.
Yes. Are you sure?
No, I'm not going to do it. I don't know either.
Here, look, right. Oh, hold on. I am not going to make it through this book.
You're not going to make it. You may not make it through this.
Right. I'm not going to make this book full stop, or I'm not going to make it through this book by pussyfooting and trying to sidestep danger. I am here to conquer the Citadel of Chaos. And if that means drinking the entire red goblet here and becoming half demon, then that's what it means.
I don't know if the object of the game is to go into every room and potentially face every danger. You know,
I need to go to every single bit of danger in this dungeon, look it in the eyes and go, right, pick a shoe. Let's find out if your back fanny can untie laces.
You're like the world's worst assassin. You've been sent in to get to the middle of the Citadel and kill this guy. You're opening every fucking door.
I'm checking all the locks. So like, why is this not opening?
You're working under the opinion the guy. I suppose wouldn't it be great if the main bad guy was just sitting in here having a shit, and you just like shoot an arrow at him, and it's the end of the game.
No.
You're just kind of going,
If I found a guard taking a shit, I would not shoot an arrow at him. I'd pull the claymore or preferably a big club out. I'd scream. I'd run into the room because I know he's not going to get his trousers up in time. Like no
That's
one's
a good
getting their. So you just give him the worst 8 seconds of his life, and then his life's over. He dies screaming, being clubbed by a barbarian. That's how I want to play.
just sitting there, kind of going, oh. He's only got a select amount of time on his break, and he's already been in there. He's already been in there for 8 minutes, and he goes, "I need to be back in 2 minutes," and this just isn't happening. And then you come in and go, "Ah!"
What we're just, whoa, just like low running. You know when you low run and you're like that.
And you get over it.
And then like, the last 3 steps, you're winding up. A proper club, beat him down. You know, flush the toilet. Out you go. See, I want my like plan of attack in this.
Why'd you flush the toilet?
I don't want it to smell
first. Guys like that. Blood oozing. I'm just gonna. It's just his last sensation as the life ebbs out of him is a wet arse from the flashback. He's just gonna go, and you know, his last conscious thought is, that's not unpleasant.
As he passes into the afterlife, he receives the final kiss of Poseidon upon his bottom.
He feels cold water lap at his balls. He's like kind of going.
It's like he's standing in the tide pool.
Just half his face gone.
No, not gone. Caved in.
Absolutely. Just kind of going, do you know what? Just have a look at yourself. Just because his eyes facing the wrong way. Just have a long, hard look at yourself.
I'd like to make. I want my sword to be a hammer. This conversation is getting
well.
It's got to be a sword for the story. I know it'll remain a claymore.
If there's a point where I can somehow make this into a hammer, I will. Adrian says you should nick every goblet and expose yourself to every goblin imp.
Yep, done. I'm wearing a long cloth.
There's a lot of reuse of the word gobble there.
Yeah, someone's got a fixation.
Absolutely. So here we go. As you enter the gremlins. Oh wait a minute. There's a comma here. As you enter, the gremlins flutter and squeak excitedly, and then fly past you through the door and out into the night. That was a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, it was after
You're now alone with the chalices. Will you risk taking a drink? Yes. If so, you can choose the clear liquid, the red liquid, or the milky liquid, or you can just bugger off.
Okay, right.
You're not in a situation where you're being forced to drink something here. Have a drink.
Do you remember the Princess Bride? Do you remember the Princess Bride? The movie.
I was talking to one of my friends a couple of days ago, and she hadn't seen it.
Oh, really?
And I made her watch The Princess Bride. I didn't make her. That sounds really kind of. I just said, you need to watch The Princess Bride, and she found out that it was on Amazon Prime, and she watched it. So yes, I remember The Princess Bride. It's a cracking film.
Funnily enough, I showed my flatmate it for the first time the other day. She'd never seen it before. I see him, and again because it was on Amazon Prime. But
maybe my friend's your flatmate.
But do you remember the scene with Vicini, and he's got the two goblets in front of him?
Oh yes.
Apologies if you're watching and you haven't seen The Princess Bride, because this will be.
Alert.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a spoiler alert. It's just this might not. Well, basically, it's like it's in Sherlock as well, where like he poisons one of the goblets, and then he puts one in front of him, and then he keeps one for himself. That's what these things have done to me in a way, because there's 3 goblets, and they were drinking out of the milk. But it's not milk. It's probably devil spunk, right? I'm not sure why they'd be drinking it. Maybe it's milk squeezed from their gremlin ma, right?
Maybe gremlins like devil spunk.
I mean, it's probably tasty.
Imagine out of all the spunks, devil spunk's probably the most appealing.
I think it's got to be Angel Spunk's got to be definitely the nicest, then Devil Spunk, and then all other kinds of spunk on the chart below that.
I don't know. I think Angel Spunk would be quite bland.
Do you think? Oh, you could be right.
Yeah,
Maybe it's at the bottom because no one likes the taste of purity. Everyone likes the taste of sin.
Absolutely. Everyone wants a wee bit of kind of.
Everyone wants a wee bit of devil cock.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Do you know? I'm wondering why we have decided that the milky liquid has to be.
No. We haven't decided. Right. So here's my thought. Here's my thought process. They've done the Vicini thing to me because they were. You said they were. Well, not you. Well, you. But
I did.
Yeah, they are drinking out of the milky goblet. They came down and drank out of the milky goblet. That's the same.
Goblet.
They may as well have put that milky goblet in front of me and then kept the other two behind them.
Yeah.
But I can't take the one in front of me because, I'm his enemy and he might have given me the thing. But I can't take the one in front of him because he knows that death is what I can't remember Vicini's logic, but that's the thing. But anyway, do you take a drink of the water, which is probably either vodka or poison? I spent many years building up an immunity to devil spunk. Just weaning yourself onto it.
Do you know, I love the fact that nobody in the chat is actually doing anything that could help you. They're just reinforcing our nonsense.
I don't know what you're taking out of that, but that helped me a lot.
It's
just when he says I built up immunity to devil spunk, that doesn't even necessarily mean that he's been drinking it. For all we know, he's got a little Coke spoon, and every now and again he opens a wee vial, gets a little bit of devil spunk, just puts it back in. That's how he's been rubbing it into his gums.
rubbing it. That's the way to do it.
Drops in the ear
as well. One of your options for devil spunk is to take it as a suppository as well.
I'd argue that's probably the main way that devils would have been
way to do it. I mean, you also, and I need to show you this as well.
Microdosing. Baby bumps.
I also have to remind you that unlike if you and I were out, if we were on this adventure in real life and we'd walked into a bar, we don't have to drink. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to drink any of these things, Chris. You can leave.
John, I don't know about you, but there's 3 goblets in front of this table. In front of this table? What the fuck's wrong with me? There's 3 goblets on this table, and one of them, at least, is getting drunk. I can promise you that.
I wonder if there's a Glasgow edit of this where it says, or neck all 3.
Yeah. Which one would you like to use as a chaser? All right, well, right. I'm gonna not go for devil spunk, despite all this noise I'm hearing about it and the fact that everybody loves devil spunk. I feel like I'm gonna go against the grain on this one. And I'm either gonna take the clear liquid, I almost feels pointless. The red liquid. Now, knowing that this book, let's not be too meta, but knowing that this book was made in the 80s, this might be not a subversion, right? So this might actually be poison.
But they could all be poison.
Do you know what? Give me the poison. Geese the red.
The red liquid.
Give me the cinnamon aftershock.
All right, here we go.
By the way, I didn't even ask the chat if
I'm a bit scared. So you want to go for the red liquid?
Yeah, I'm going for the red liquid. And if you disagree, anyone in chat, you are a coward, and there's no.
As you grasp the chalice, the liquid turns green, then a dirty brown in front of your eyes. It smells putrid, but you take a sip. With a grimace, you spit it out. You're drinking muddy water. You leave the chamber, head for the citadel, and lose 1 luck point.
Oh, okay. We're already taking penalties to luck. I didn't realize that cup was anti-Irish. Jesus Christ. Taking away the only thing that I've got going for me.
Your luck has dropped from 7 to 8. From 9 to 8. That's not how dropping works.
It's gone from 7 to 8.
Dropped
from 7 to 8.
Obviously, I haven't too much on the devil's.
The devil's own jizz.
The devil's own brand. It doesn't give you the option to drink anymore, so that's probably for the best. To be fair,
I mean, it was
who knows
probably
where
dumb
that
going
would
for
have gone.
the red one, but at least I didn't lose health and luck.
That's
No
true.
matter how
You're
low my
less
luck
lucky.
goes, running out of luck won't kill me, but running out of health will.
Running
So
out of luck
that's-
might kill you.
Yeah, given the right situation, yeah, probably.
Absolutely. Right, so we're now 45 minutes in. I suggest we just keep going and make this an hour long.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's
go for
do it.
Let's play
Or
on.
as close to an hour either way. It's close to an hour either way, where there's a wee bit of a kind of we should probably end on a slightly more exciting cliffhanger than do you want to pretend to be a tradesman or a herbalist? And I'm not saying that wasn't an exciting, because we don't know where that would have gone.
Yeah.
But I think we should probably end on something that feels a little bit more life or death.
Yeah, something a little bit where the stakes are a little higher.
Yeah, and I don't think Herbalife. Are you selling Herbalife for trying to fit a kitchen? Wasn't it quite?
John, did you see that Halloween costume someone dressed up as? He wore a suit, and the back of the suit says "Your Da," and then they've got a briefcase that just says Avon on it.
Avon. I saw that.
That's a good one.
Best Halloween costume ever. So you're out of the Fountain Stroke Temple. Luckily, we didn't have to buy a new book.
Can I just ask? I mean, I won't get an answer, but this whole time has that archer just been waiting? He's been fired. He hit me in the foot. He's like fired 3 more. I've run into cover, and he's like, right.
What's amazing about that is that his job? Normally, this is like
Where's gremlins come from?
but he's just sitting there on. I'm assuming that he's thinking that this citadel of chaos is pretty much borderline impregnable, unless you happen to be selling herbs. Unless you're a drug dealer, you're not getting in, right?
I'm going to give the king his spliff out my way.
And it's his job to stay hiding and say in the wind, halt, and he's just constantly ready. His arm's probably killing him, kind of going.
He's up there with a big fan generating the wind.
So
all right, let's press on.
I don't know. Do you know the answer? This book's sadly lacking in that it doesn't give you any backstories to the antagonists, and I think that between you and I, we can actually create a kind of real world. Whereas next week's episode isn't even going to be about us. We're going to go back to this guy. He's just gone off duty.
Steve,
the Windy Archer, is basically, and he's already got another job, and he's just doing this to make ends meet.
He doesn't like working for, what's his name, Mr. Dyer? What is it?
Balthus Dyer.
Balthus Dyer. He doesn't even like working for Balthus Dyer. Balthus Dyer is kind of he's weird guy, kind of gropey.
This is a job that he has to do. This is a job he has to do until somebody actually discovers his band.
He must be a bard, right? He must be a bard.
And his wife's just sitting kind of going, no, like you're in your 40s now. You have to give up on the band.
You got to give up on the dream.
I'm not giving up my dreams.
He's like Anvil. Like, no, me and my buddies will rock forever.
You never considered a full-time archery job. And in the end, if you inevitably win this quest, right, he actually doesn't have a job anymore. And then his band is discovered. And on the first night, he's like playing the guitar. He's playing the guitar and realizes he's so much damage from holding a bow for all these years that he can no longer play well, and he gets flung out of the band, and his wife's just standing there going, "Told you."
Or what we could do the moral high ground here, and we could cave his skull in, and then his wife gets a lovely life insurance check because she never liked him anyway.
He was the guy that was in the Temple Stroke Fountain Stroke Shitter.
Oh my god! It just reminded me. Right, this is another sidetrack. But did you ever hear?
we'll get back to the question in a minute.
Just a second. Do you remember Billy Connolly talked about this? He talked about the worst heckle he's ever heard, like the most soul destroying heckle he'd ever heard, and it was a novice who was doing like a 5 minute set, but like was fucking it up and like getting the joke wrong and stuff. And he says in a voice from the crowd, he said could have been Satan himself, just come out through the silence. You're not funny, and no one likes you. You should have remembered that from school. Oh my god! I agree with what bit.
That obviously wasn't in real time. He was obviously agreeing to something else. But I just spotted it at that point and just went.
I wonder what he's agreeing with. Is it? Oh, I think he might be agreeing. Was he agreeing with the decision to take on the Citadel?
Right, it's 7 minutes ago, so who knows?
I don't know. Maybe he'll clarify in a follow up. Anyway, sorry.
I just agreed to you being a herbalist. I don't even know anymore.
I imagine saying all this to that dude as I killed him, but we don't even know if that's going to happen. So let's press on.
We have as yet not discovered somebody taking a crap, but if we do, I think we know what Chris is going to go with. Unless you're all talking, you go, I will slink out the toilet.
I'll cut the poop right out his butt. Sorry, press on. Yeah.
As you stride across open courtyard, you've basically run out of that. You've run out of this temple, and then you've done that. It's now suddenly you're striding. So I don't know if you've done that thing where you kind of slightly kind of run it out. You go, and then you see there's other people, and then you try and look quite nonchalant. You go. So you've run out going, oh, that was manky, that and then you just kind of go, and you're exhibiting an air of nonchalance as you stride across open courtyard, and you notice that you're walking alongside a small mound. So there's a wee mound of earth, kind of going along, almost like a buried pipeline.
Right,
a small mound. This is taking a sinister turn. Almost like a buried pipeline running from the Black Tower to the temple. You bend over to investigate it. Could it perhaps have been made by a mole of some kind? I imagine not.
Yeah, probably not.
As you touch the mound, it caves in, and to your horror, a long grey tentacle covered in warty growths bursts out of the ground and wraps itself around your leg. And it is there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's just burst out of the ground and it's wrapping itself around your leg. How will you fight this thing? How will you fight this thing? You get the chance of drawing your sword, or you can cast a levitation spell, of which you have one, or you can cast a fire spell, of which you have two. Sword, flyer, fire.
Sword. Every time. Well, not every time.
Sword every time. You ready to do this? You're going to draw your sword?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens.
Get that sword out right now. You cut the tentacle, you fall to your death.
You draw your sword and you hack at the tentacle. The tentacle will not fight back as will a normal creature, but instead is trying to drag you into a large hole in the ground, which is opening around its base.
Oh my god.
You don't need to roll for the tentacle, as it has an attack strength of 15 and a stamina score of 2. So you have to throw for combat strength in the right way. Basically, you get 3 chances to kill this creature, and if you don't, it's dragging you into the ground and you're dead.
It's got a stamina of 2 though. I can bulldoze this. I feel like you probably shouldn't. Yes, that's right, Adrian. Sword, absolutely, every time. Most times. There's what's I gonna say? So you said I got 3 turns to kill it, but it's gonna get 2 stamina. I think probably in future you probably shouldn't tell me how much stamina things have.
No, but normally you're in combat, but you've got no choice here. So you've got 3 chances. You've got 3 chances to kill it. I'm going to explain to you how the fight works. You roll two dice for the creature, and you add its skill under normal circumstances, but you don't do this here because it's not on the attack, so it's just got an attack strength of 15.
Okay.
So you need to roll 2 dice for yourself and add your skill, which is
Okay.
11.
How about
So
you roll one? I'll roll the other. You roll first this time, though.
So just as a frame of reference, your skill is 11, right?
Mhm.
And its attack strength is 15, right?
Yeah, I need to
So
get a
if
4.
your attack strength is higher, i.e., more than
16.
4 with 2 dice, then you win.
It's not bad. I like them odds.
Yeah.
But I did take some damage to luck recently.
There's
Right.
no luck involved.
No, I know. I was joking. Do you want to roll? You roll first. I'll roll second.
So if we get 4, then you miss.
Okay.
And if you get basically if you get less than 4, it's going to hurt you and take some stamina off you.
Aye.
If you get 4 on the money, you're going to miss, and you still need to roll again. And we've got three chances to roll more than 4 between the two of us with 2 dice. So once again, right. I feel that this doesn't have the level of jeopardy that you might hope for
it's
or
really
expect.
Doors. We're just easing into it. This is like this is the milk. They call this the milk run. Actually, there was literally milk in the last.
There was the goblet of milk, which I still think was the one you should have gone for. Gremlin's choice.
That's what it's called. Gremlin's choice.
Because I drink Gremlin's choice.
Because I drink Gremlin's. Do you remember whenever Prince Philip, like, when there was those pictures released?
You don't want to get cancelled in episode 2, Chris. Don't quote him verbatim.
I'm not quoting him. It was pictures of him like looking really.
Oh, is it the one in the car where he looked like Nosferatu?
Yeah. And one of them was a picture of that face with the caption, "When you drink from the wrong grill." and then there was the other picture of him looking fucked, and it was like, "When you go back at midnight for more grill." Oh, anytime I think of goblets, it reminds me of that. Like goblets or grills or chalices or whatever, you know.
God rest his soul. Don't know why I'm saying that. Do you want the royalist?
You can't say God rest his soul. It's Cthulhu to keep with his religion.
Absolutely. Right, so you need to roll 4 or more with 2 dice. No, more than 4. So you need to roll 5 or more with 2 dice.
5 or more.
You roll 1, I'll roll 1.
If you roll a 5, I won't roll.
Right, okay, I'll roll first, but before I do that, I'm just going to, with no context, I'm not going to suggest that he was talking about the same person that we were. Just in case, I don't want Twitch to suddenly stop kind of hosting these, right? So here we go.
You don't want to get haunted.
Do you know I've just rolled 1?
Which means I need to roll 3.
Right. So you need to roll. Right. Can you see that? Just in case you don't believe me.
Oh, yo! Just in case you don't believe me. Where is it? There it is. See it?
Hey! So you got 5, you get 4, I get 1, so that's 5.
Get back to hell.
Basically, we subtract 2 from its stamina, so we've won. That was actually a little bit more that's a bit more worrying than I thought it was going to be since I rolled that 1. But you were fine. So anyway, you don't get dragged into the lair and killed. Imagine that. We didn't even make it through like the 2nd episode.
Imagine telling this story and you're like, oh my God.
I don't want to do the Wonder Island parallel for 20 minutes again.
My granddad, the dealer, pretended, or he didn't even pretend, he just showed up, broke in, drank a goblet full of mud, and then he drank a goblet full of mud, and then he got dragged into a hole and died.
Oh. Still not even the worst night out he had.
Uncle Booby.
I mean, it's fine to kind of go, you died, excellent, and then you go, tell it, and we go, well, do you know what? We did an hour and a half episode, then we did an hour long episode. So, I mean, you were questioned for 2.5 hours, but in real terms, we've only made like 4 decisions.
I got dragged into the hole and killed immediately.
Just gonna go talking about this for weeks, going, Chris, this is the most awesome thing we'll ever do. We're going to put on like weekly questing and you get killed. I mean, I know it is 2.5 hours now in kind of real terms, but it's like 5 minutes of gameplay. I mean, how embarrassing would that be? But
You're incredibly inefficient.
So anyway, you can proceed to the entrance of the Black Tower. So you haven't died. So I mean, this is quite good. In front of you is a large.
Died. Next time I see you out, my auntie. You haven't died.
You haven't died. Oh well. In front of you is a large wooden door. In front of you, a large wooden door, firmly locked. You can either knock 3 times for the guard. Don't know why 3 times, or you can use your strength spell to try and open it, of which you have 2. You can either knock on the door or try and bash it in.
I mean, I'm sure Adrian will already know what this decision is because I'm fucking using strength and I'm battering this door down. I'm a bogus man with fake ID and I'm here to ransack your roof.
Are you going to use a strength spell?
I'm going to use a strength spell. I've got 2. John, start as you mean to continue. And
absolutely.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Right, so you're going to use a strength spell. Adrian hasn't had a comment on this yet. Adrian's the only person that has been commenting thus far. Adrian's possibly the only person watching. I won't know until I get the kind of...
Well, then here's to Adrian.
Here's to Adrian. Adrian, who's stuck with us. Adrian!
I wonder how many times Adrian has got that through their life.
Well, I mean, we can ask him.
Go for it.
Adrian, how many times have you been in a situation where somebody said, apart from me, yeah, but I think I've done it to him in real life because I actually know Adrian. Right? But how many times, Adrian, has someone said to you, Adrian? And then you get really annoyed at them.
Well, we'll hear back from a minute in Adrian, but right now I have cast a strength spell. Let's fucking do this.
So you're doing it. So I was expecting Adrian might have something to say to that, but he hasn't. So
there's a delay, so I think we'll crack on until he gets a response, or until we get a response through.
So you've used your first spell, Chris.
I got 12 of them, and we'll be lucky if we make it to 12 weeks. So 1 a week.
Absolutely, is it? So you're using the strength spell. You're using the strength spell here, right? Okay, and I will say that when we get a wee bit more kind of on the go with this, and we know exactly what we're doing, I'll probably have like some button that can make a kind of noise whenever you cast a spell. But right now, alas, I don't have that. So you're going to have to rely on me just going
doodly-ding. Doodly-doo. Right. Magic. Are you familiar with the Berserkers, John? The old clan of like barbarian dudes that were Norse.
They weren't known to doodly-ding.
Well, whenever they now realize that what was actually happening when they went into a rage was they actually took mushrooms. They used to take psychedelics, and they'd get so jazzed up on what like that whole bloodlust thing that, like, imagine the fear of fighting a horde of berserkers, right? You actually stab one all the way through his torso, all the way up the other side, and all it does is jazz him up. It's like straight through him. He just looks like and goes. That is what the strength spell does for me.
Excellent. So you're just basically, I get all of these kind of going, you're posing as a herbalist, and now basically to try and open a door, you're taking mushrooms. Now all I'll say is that's absolutely fine, but don't take mushrooms when you think you're going to be casting a levitate spell.
You'll end up
where you end the top of this tower. That'll be fine because I can fly.
I just forgot to put Mixer into Co-op's own Navy rum, and that was terrible.
I want the Kraken. I don't use mixers.
Yeah, you don't want to not use mixers with Co-op Navy. I feel like I've been shot.
Absolutely. That's why I usually go for kind of higher end drums, because I refuse to use mixers in anything, because I think mixers are the devil's work.
Well, I mean, if we know, something, there it is again. Well, if we know something about everyone with tonight, is that we know that we like the devil's spunk. So here,
Me too. We absolutely do.
to the devil and his spunk, hail Satan.
You feel your own growing power.
Oh, yeah.
So you've cast the strength spell, running at the door. You hit it hard with your shoulder, but it does not budge. You lose a stamina point for your bruise, and then you have to
knock out. Strength spell. I lose a stamina point.
It's a hell of a door. Basically, you've lost a spell and you've lost a stamina point, and now you have to humbly knock on the door to summon the guard.
I'm actually disgusted.
I
would like to, with my huge hulking mass now, I'd like to knock the door, although I can't even touch my own head because I'm actually done.
Exactly. Just kidding. You can't do it with this one because of the muscles. You can't do it with this one because it's bruised.
I can't even do YMCA.
Young man.
All right. Well, I guess I'm not going to
lost a stamina point. So you've lost some luck and you've lost some stamina.
I love that I have encountered a team of gremlins. I drank from a big red goblet and I fought a tentacle monster, and it's a fucking door that does me my first point of damage.
That's you sounded like you sound like in those old quiz shows when you kind of when you've lost and you just say that, do you know what, we've had a really good night though. We've had a really good we're just happy to be here. We're just happy to be out tonight. We saw some gremlins, we got to drink some muddy water, we got attacked by.
I had a great night, Matthew, and I don't even care. I don't look that much like Freddie Mercury.
But I mean, we got further than we expected. I mean, this is the quarterfinals. This is not the quarterfinals. This is nowhere near the quarterfinals. But, right, so anyway, you've got a bruise and you have to knock on the door to summon the guard, like some pure. I don't even know the word that I can use to describe somebody that's based. You got all these. We were dead excited last week, and you got all these spells, and now you've used a spell and it's caused you damage. Do you think the strength spell always does that?
Every opportunity I've had to use a spell, it turns out that not using the spell was just as good, if not better.
I'm starting to suspect that maybe there's a message here that you shouldn't rely on magic.
I think it might just be that Harry Slaughter is actually not very good at magic.
Harry Slaughter. Well, I mean, we don't know what the spells could have done. The levitation spell could have been like kind of going, you levitate away from the tentacle creature, end up at the window of the guy that you're trying to kill, and then you just stab in the eye with a sword. And that could have been the end of it.
Here's what would have happened, right? No, here's what would have happened. It would have wrapped the tentacle around my leg, right? I would have used the levitate spell. I would have started pulling up as it pulled down, and it would have twisted my leg off like a champagne cork.
That's possibly what could have happened. And you know, it says it twists your leg off like a champagne cork, lose one stamina point, and then you go. It's the same damage as if I'd banged against the door and I've only got one leg. Hopping about the Citadel of Chaos with a stamina of 17, and it's the exact same as having a bruised arm. But anyway, so you've knocked on the door. You've not. I feel like the door opens and a large brutish creature steps out, because of course it has sharp horns in the middle of its forehead, and its skin appears to be armor plated. It grunts to ask what you want and demands the password before letting you in. Here's the bastard here. Wait a minute.
I can't see. I'd like to say to him, can I get your autograph? I've never met Rhino Free Spider-Man.
So he wants to know. He says he demands to know the password. Do you know the password, Chris?
John, I didn't write it down.
Did anybody tell you the password?
The password. Do you know what? I bet it was at the bottom of the clear glass. I bet if I drank the clear glass,
I bet you it was. I absolutely bet you it was.
Right. Well, I don't know the password. So what are my options?
You think quickly.
I'm trying.
You reach into your bag and pull out a handful of weeds, showing them to the creature to explain you're a herbalist.
Wait, hold on. Is smoking a doob my answer to every problem?
Yes, it is, Chris, because I know you. You explain that you're a herbalist and have come to treat the Lord's librarian who's critically ill.
Hold on.
Messenger.
I love that I'm still maintaining the same thing. Oh my god. Does that mean that that first choice of three, just there's like three main tree trunks, and one's like the herbalist route, one is the tradesman route, and one's
which is always if the tradesman's route is always going in through the back entrance. And the other one's kipping for the night. So basically, you tell me you're here to treat the Lord's librarian who's critically ill. The messenger never told you any passwords. So will he believe you though? You've to test your luck.
Yo, which recently took a hit.
It did recently take a hit. So you have to roll two dice. And make sure that it's equal to or less than 8.
I'm gonna roll. I got a 6.
Oh shit! So I need to. I can't. That looks like a 1. Oh no! Yes, a 6. Yes, I can see it. Right. So I need to roll 2 or less, or he's not going to believe you.
Okay.
Oh, suddenly there's tension. Maybe I should roll it and then tell you next week.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, that's a terrible idea. We should. What do you think? No, let's just follow it through.
Follow it through. Fuck it. Let's go.
Let's follow it through, and then right. It's a 3. You've been unlucky. Chris.
Fuck. Oh, Jesus.
He doesn't care who you are, and you may not enter without the password, and he advances towards you with his pike.
Uh-oh. I didn't even know.
I'm going to leave you on this one. This is a cliffhanger. The Rhino Man steps forward and jabs at you with his pike. You leap quickly out of the way. Although it's not wearing armor, its thick hide looks like protection enough. You must decide whether you take it on in combat or use magic. Will you draw your sword or try a weakness spell, a levitation spell, or a strength spell? So you get the choices of using your sword or using one of those spells. We're going to leave it there, Chris. You get a choice of magic or combat.
It's a good one to end on.
That's a good cliffhanger, isn't it? A big Rhino Man.
No heard tell you. I've no heard tell you.
I mean, I think I know where you're going to go, but it's not for me to decide.
Are we going to find a scorpion, an octopus, and then a fishbowl?
I'm hoping so.
And then a green goblin.
It's just gonna go. And then we've already drank some venom.
Oh yeah, plenty.
So I mean, that's a good place to leave it. I mean, I feel that talking more about it now is kind of detracting from the
suspense.
The cliffhanger. The cliffhanger is this big evil rhino guy is going to come at you with a sword, and you get a choice to either fight him traditionally using your sword or use either a levitation spell, a weakness spell, which I'm assuming you would use on him and not yourself, or a strength spell, which I'm assuming you would use on you and not him.
Harry Slaughter looks to his blade. Do I fight with one end, or do I cast with the other?
So tune in, possibly not next Tuesday, but another day next week
Another
to
day
find
next week.
to find
Another
out.
day.
Wouldn't it be terrible if you couldn't do next week and you have to wait a fortnight to find out how this rhino is going to kill you?
I would just turn inside out.
But I'm just thinking, what are we going to do if you go and you get into this fight with the rhino and you instantly die next week? And we're kind of going, how are we going to spend the next hour?
Do you know what? I feel like at this like early stage in the book, if I die, what we should do is be like, right, that is the herbalist dead. And then go back
Let's get the
and
tradesman in.
and then get the tradesman in, and then get the. So I feel like those are the three branches, and I feel like if we're early enough in one branch, we should just jump to the next.
Let's discuss it next week when this. I mean, I've seen this rhino, Chris. I mean, I think you're fucked, mate.
I don't think so.
I'm just trying to make this more. I'm trying to give it a sense of jeopardy.
You can't say that. You'll ruin the illusion.
I reckon you can take the rhino, right? So we'll decide next week whether you take the rhino with magic or strength, which now that I've said out loud sounds really creepy.
Yeah. It also sounds hopeless to try and take it by strength.
Well, I mean, Chris, you've got a week to ponder. Unlike poor Harry, because although we're stepping out of this quest right now, for Harry, no time will pass whatsoever because you've got a week to ponder over this. But Harry's got to make a lightning fast decision right now.
For Harry, time has slowed to a glacial
for Harry,
drip.
Time is now kind of going. No.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, from his perspective,
time has compressed from the entirety of the universe into a single point, and it is Harry staring the rhino in the face.
Poor Harry. Poor Harry versus the rhino. And you know, if this takes a while and we're watching this, and then people are kind of going, so this all happened over the period of like one evening for Harry. Why did John and Chris age so badly over the upcoming next few years? And the answer to that is a variety of different rums on a weekly basis.
Yeah, we've never addressed the fact that both episodes so far, we are just when we talk about the fact that we're drinking rum, but we don't really have a reason. We just both really like rum.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it was just quite lucky that it's two rum drinkers on a quest together. I mean, who knew?
I mean, 3 if you count Harry Slaughter. That man definitely is.
Harry Slaughter loves his rum.
He's got. It doesn't list it on his inventory, but he's always got a big jug. You know, like an old-fashioned like jug, just like strapped to his belt of his loincloth.
Is that like one of these ones that he just kind of holds like that?
Just like that, except clay.
Terracotta cracking. And it probably tastes like shite, you know, because rum in these fantasy worlds probably doesn't have the same kind of level of quality that it's like Co-op Navy rum.
The shitest rum on the market.
Yeah, except he doesn't have a mixer. So imagine that, if you will. Harry
Jesus.
Harry will probably be able to kill this rhino just with the reflux.
Yeah. A big burp and the rhino suddenly keys over.
So it's an exciting place to finish. You're basically facing off a rhino.
Yeah. Staring down the barrel of a horn.
Maybe the horny gremlins will just come in and save the day. I mean, who knows?
They'll come up and drink the rhino's horn milk.
And then it just kind of goes, right, in you go. In you go.
In you go. Just fly up my butt. Just all of you, all 3 at once, fly up my butt.
You didn't expect a horny rhino. I thought it was a horned rhino, but it turns out that he's got needs like everyone else.
He just stands at the end of the corridor, and the imps fly up there like we're playing Mousetrap. Just.
That's a good thing as well. Obviously, I didn't write this book because you didn't have the option of like you get the password. You can either blag it if you know the password, or offer to wank the rhino off.
It's always an option, and the rhino does prefer if you wank off his horn. With Broken John.
Right. On that note, by the way, as a frame of reference, I forgot to say that my mum was quite excited about this tonight. She's watching tonight. Hello, mum.
Hi, John's mum.
Hi, mum. That would be awesome. I mean, she might be watching. I very much doubt it.
Yeah.
Imagine if this was the night. She said, "John's always talking about all the comedy he does online. I'm going to watch tonight." She just logged in at that point and I'm saying, "You could offer a wank the right off." And she's going,
Oh no! John's offering to wank rhinos off on the internet.
What have you done, son?
I'm going to call Peter on you. You're no son of mine.
She's actually right me out the well as we speak. Right me out the well as we speak. Just kind of going. And the lawyer says, "Do you want to do this? Because it's going to be difficult to write him back into the will later on. What has your son done to cause this?" And he wanked off a rhino online on a live.
All right, say no more. Say no more, Mrs. Carruthers. We'll get this man stricken off your will.
This is the police at the door.
RSPCA. Officer, he's the one that wanked off the rhino.
The RSPCA at the door, and you're just kind of
Daddy,
going,
Daddy, why is the police here? Why are they taking you away? Oh, wanked off a rhino, son.
Trying to justify to them what you're doing. You're going, no, it was a fantasy. You go, "But don't care, guy."
I don't care what you call it. You
How
make
comes
me
at the
sick.
door? People like you. People like you is why we need an RSPCA.
Put that rum down and wipe the rhino spunk off your chin and get in that set.
In a perfect world, I would be unemployed, but it's because of people like you. Right, anyway, on that note, we're nearly an hour and a half again. Tight 10.
Maybe we should just start scheduling it for an hour and a half.
If we schedule it for an hour and a half, it's like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Schedule it for an hour and a half, it's going to be 3 hours.
All right, okay. We'll schedule it for half an hour every week with the understanding that that's bullshit. But before I ever mention that it's bullshit, like if some people are gonna have to go, I'm just going in the other room. I'm gonna watch my pal John, my pal Chris. It'll only be half an hour. Every time it's an hour and a half.
Because I was actually asked before I'm on, said, "So what time do you think it'll be finished?" I went, "It's supposed to be half an hour, but let's just give it till like maybe 8:30." And it'll be she's kind of, that's good because your daughter wants to watch the next episode of Murder Island. Of which who along with Kraken and Navy Rum are the sponsors of tonight's
Murder
stream.
Island featured very heavily in the first episode.
Exactly, and has had a slight cameo in episode 2. But Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure again.
It's been great.
I don't care if nobody's watching.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I've been looking forward to this since last week. It's been quite
absolutely. I've been looking forward to it since a hit end broadcast last week. I'm like, the next one's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, they're always a good laugh.
Absolutely. So I might actually be out doing live comedy next Tuesday, so we might have to reschedule maybe to another day of the week. But we'll take this offline. We don't need.
Feel free to go and see John next week at Junkyard in Hamilton. Times it start, John?
I'm in the Chris, you should come along too, and we'll just do this.
We'll just do it as our set. We'll come up and be like, this set is scheduled for 10 minutes, but it's going to run over 3 times.
No context either. Welcome to stage, everyone. John Cross. I just walk up and go, right, anyway, Chris, you're just sitting in the audience, and I go, Chris, are you going to fight this rhino?
Imagine a tour of this, right? Imagine, like, hypothetical world. We've got 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 viewers, right? We go on a tour of the UK, but we start the book on the first date of the tour. And in order to get the full story, you have to come to every date on the tour. Tour could end on the 3rd day, though.
Chris, you thinking what I'm thinking? Live Edinburgh Fringe run next year.
Oh, 30 days, a page every day.
If we get through a page.
Yeah, not likely.
Absolutely. Right, we need to go.
Yeah,
But
we
we're
do,
going
we
to
do.
lose the viewers we've got because they're kind of going. I was led to believe this was a half-hour stream again. More fool you,
Yeah.
Chris. It's been an absolute pleasure. Who knows what next week will bring? Next week might be a shorter episode because you're going to die.
It might be. It might be. Get immediately beasted by a rhino and we spend an hour and a half
Do you
watching
know what?
cat videos.
I reckon. See if the rhino does kill you next week. I reckon we can do about an hour describing what he does to you after you're dead. We can probably fill it.
Yeah. Oh, I could fill that.
Absolutely.
The
Well,
rhino will be filling me.
I'm sure I was going to say the rhino will be able to fill you. Right. On that note, on that cliffhanger, we came to the cliffhanger about 15 minutes ago and we're still talking. Just going to go, this has lost all sense of peril.
It was half an hour ago.
Chris, I'll see you next week and the rhino will be waiting for you. And just stay cool, my man. Bye,
You too.
everyone. Thanks for enjoying Tight 10 and Titan. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Ah!